So in terms of setup, first we said in terms of your start position, your left hand grip was too far to the left as you look down, so we could sort of see the sort of your nails there on your left hand there visible underneath your left thumb. So this hand now is too far around this side, it needs to be a bit more turned on top. So your left wrist joint, if I went through the golf club here now, your left wrist, which would be a kind of guess there, needs to be on top of that red line. Okay, now because of that grip position, what it causes in your, you can see as the club goes back now, how you're almost dragging that club away, so therefore you can't really hinge your wrist in that fashion. So from here now there's a drag and a lift, and look at your left wrist as you get to about there. Now it's going to be behind you, we'll go back a bit. You can see your left wrist almost a 90 degree on it, and there's a real hinge of that there. Club's a long way behind, hitting the ground there is very difficult, as you prove when you come back down. Just missed the golf ball because the club just couldn't get down to the golf ball. So if we look at that kind of position there, now this on the right, much better sequence. Okay, putting the golf club down there behind the golf ball, putting your left hand on first, so you can see your left thumb now further over as you were there. Just more. Okay, so you're gripping that golf club there. Now if we put a line through there, that's kind of through your left wrist a bit more. So that's a good position. So that enables you now to hinge your wrist better. Okay, and I'll be honest and say the wrist doesn't go perfect, but it's certainly an improvement on that there. Okay, so as we start going back, you can see the hinge you're doing there to try and get that feeling of how the wrists are going to work in the golf swing. And as you go back here now, you're starting to hinge those wrists up a little bit here, because we got that same kind of position there. Your wrist is a little bit flatter as opposed to, we get sort of two spots there. That left wrist is kind of really what we call bowed position there, where that one now is a little bit more hinging up. Club is kind of more in a vertical spot. So when you come back to the golf ball now, we can shot the golf ball nicely. Club can come back down, good contact, and we can swing through. Now your follow through does stop a little bit kind of, a little bit short of where we want to go. I think we could carry on going a little bit further by just allowing it to go through. A lot of times people, when they swing a golf club for the first time, it's that lack of confidence. Think, I don't want to go too much. The less I move, the less wrong it'll be, kind of thing. So if I just go ding ding and hope for the best, it will be okay, but not as full a swing. Okay, through swing should just continue on as far as it should want to go. Don't try to sort of stop it anywhere along that line. Just let it go through as needs be. Okay, with the speed you're creating and going back this far, there should be a bit of a fuller movement through. That was a bit sort of stoppy, and you had one or two shots where you did actually stop the club kind of down here, so it was a bit of a jab at it. Okay, but as I said, overall some good shots there. The thing to keep in mind is when you hit a shot on a range or on here, wherever it may be, if it's a good shot, let go of the club, restart the sequence, and get yourself set to the golf ball bit by bit. Okay, if you actually look at the time it takes, it seems when you're doing it yourself by your going through all the sequence, it seems like it's an eternity, taking a long time. People are watching me. Okay, if we just play this at normal speed, so we haven't even sort of started putting the ball down there, so I guess at about 1 second, we'll just say 1 second the ball's been put into position. Okay, so from 1 second, as that club goes down, you've done your sequence there, you're starting your swing at about 10, 11 seconds, 12 seconds maybe, and a couple of those sort of hinges up there. Okay, so 14, 15, so at 14 seconds, 13 seconds, 14 seconds, so it's taking you 13 seconds to set up. That's not a long time. It seems like an eternity when you're there going, I know what I'm going to try and do, and you did sort of 3 or 4 of those hinges there, which is fine. I think in the initial stage I'd want you to try and practice that to get more and more the feeling of how that wrist wants to hinge. But you could go down, if we said okay from here now, your last hinge you did it there and hit the golf ball sort of 3 seconds after that. If we just said okay, you get to the point where you're doing 1 hinge, there's 1 hinge, 3 seconds after that you're in the ball at 8, 9 seconds. So it wouldn't be that long at all. And as you get better at it, you'll get quicker at the 2 movements. You'll be just going bing, 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 hitting it. Like I say, when you get in a car now, you don't think about seatbelt on, handbrake, gear in neutral, and all that kind of stuff. You just ignition, jump, and off you go. It's a sequence that you've done over and over again, so you know kind of what you're doing. At the moment now, there's still a thought process to go through. But all we're trying to think about now is, say, to break it down. Number 1, okay, you need to get yourself in a position where your club is next to the ball and your left hand is on top of the grip there with that left wrist. That's number 1, okay. Number 2, hinge your wrists. So you've got 1 setup sequence, which is all to do with the grip and helping that wrist hinge. Number 2 is the swing thought, practicing that wrist hinge. And what we're looking for is that L to L. So if you go back here now, and you can again do this at home as we said, when your left arm is kind of here, what we want to see is your left arm a bit more there, and the club a bit more there. Hence why I said that one's not perfect, but it's not bad, okay, in comparison to what it was. Okay, so that would be the L there. On the through swing, same kind of movement on both sides. So you're sort of going L to L. And like I say, you can practice that with even just your thumb. Just stand there with your thumb in front of you and just swing your left arm up here. If you do this, you'll see your elbow bending. Now, I'm not locking the arm when I do this. That's it, perfect. There you go. That's it, there you go, good. So you're just kind of sort of getting, again, muscle memory. Now, as daft as it may sound, you could do that as often as, or a few times as you want throughout the day. And the more that is occurring, you're going to feel more and more comfortable doing that.
I'm literally just going like that to there.
Exactly. So when you finish there, so if you swing that, there you go. So the wrist to there. So your thumb would be up there where the club is. So this arm would be nice and extended. I like to use the word extended rather than straight.
So when am I bending my wrist then?
Well, your wrist hinge, in your case at the moment now, your wrist hinge is going to happen almost straight away. It can't happen too soon, okay? Because the sooner you have the wrist hinge, okay, the less likely your left arm is going to bend. So it's getting that L shape there. And again, if I said to you now, for example, if you think your hand is going from here to here, if I said, okay, then if on your wrist hinge here, if your hand's gone beyond that point now, you think, oh, I missed it. And you'll be panicking, oh, I haven't done it properly. So it just, between those 2 points from sort of left hand here to there, wrist hinge occurs.
It just happens, right, okay.
I wouldn't start trying to think it's got to happen here and then a hinge, otherwise you'll get a little bit kind of It's just there.
If you can just do that.
It will happen automatically. It doesn't at the moment because something you're not naturally trying to do, and not naturally do, so it will be a little bit more of a, hang on, when does it happen? But if you just get, in some ways, the earlier you can do it, I wouldn't say at the moment now you could do it too early. So just get that hinge up there, and again, you're looking for this left arm to be kind of, again, not locking, because locking creates tension. Tension going in the wrist means your wrist can't hinge and the arm has to give anyway. So nice and relaxed.
When I'm going like this, am I going, and if I'm looking at my thumb, and my thumb is there, so my thumb is going, staying there, or is my thumb coming round?
It'll go round a little bit, slightly, slightly round to the side. I think for the start, just think about, I wouldn't try and position it too much. It's more a question of just having that hinge. So as you go back here now, you're swinging back to kind of, if you wanted a checkpoint, and again, fair play if you want to have extras, but that club there would point kind of towards the golf ball. Okay, so if you were sort of set to that golf ball, which would be about here, if we drew a line from there through that shaft down the head, it would be to the golf ball, Don't want to be obviously this way, but equally don't want to be that way. But what your tendencies were as you went back was your wrist would go like that and bend quite dramatically round behind you, and it just puts your hand in a position where it can't really return the club back to the ball. That's it. It's a very common movement for a lot of golfers. Okay, as your wrist hinge, the arm moves back, so they kind of blend the two together, That kind of make sense?
Yeah. So I'm